We're Ed and Ann from Our Big Italian Adventure, and this is our first live stream live from Italy. And we're at our little farmhouse in Marche, Italy, which is a region on the Adriatic side, on the east side of Italy. That is, there's a mountain range that runs down the center of Italy. On the west side is Tuscany and Umbria in the center of the country. And on the east side is Marche. And it's not a very well-known region, but it's pretty like Tuscany, and for us was a lot more affordable than buying a house in Tuscany. So, our channel is designed to try to provide tips about travel and culture, because our goal is really to help you have the best, most memorable trip you can have to Italy without any snags or confusions.
Well, there are always going to be snags or confusion, but maybe we'll minimize it. So anyway, let's see. Well, so we've gotten some questions already. So we'll go through those, and please add your questions to the chat. But we thought that this would be a great opportunity to kind of get to know our viewers on a more personal level. So that's the goal of this live stream. So off we go.
Okay. So one of the questions we get a lot is when I'm going to these throughout Italy, should I stay in hotels or should I be looking into Airbnbs? Yeah. What do you think, Ann?
So I think what we would say about that is, and we do both. If you're going to stay in a city or a place for maybe a night or two, it's probably just as easy to go to a hotel. Because one of the things about an Airbnb is, you always have that cleaning fee they hit you with, regardless of how long you stay. And so I hate to pay that if you're just there for a night or two. Now, if you are going to stay there for multiple nights, or you have a big group and you want everybody, or family, you want everybody to be together, then the Airbnb makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's really perfect for a group.
And then also, we always stay Airbnb halfway through our trip so that we can do our laundry.
Right.
And when we do the laundry, we can hang it up to dry, since most Italian apartments don't have dryers.
Right.
Some do.
Some do, but most of them just have a drying rack that's called a stendi lavanda. I can't remember what it's called.
Stendi abiti or
stendi. Okay.
Anyway.
You can see that my Italian has gotten a little bit rusty.
Okay.
So
that's that on that.
Yeah. Another big topic is guides. Should I have, if I'm going to see a site, the Colosseum or a museum, should I get a guide or should I go on my own? What do you think, Ann?
Well, I think if you're going to see a major site like the Colosseum or, I don't know, something, the Vatican museums or stuff, I would definitely get a guide, because otherwise, you'll go through and you'll be able to check it off your list, but most people aren't going to get much out of it if they don't have a guide. And the thing that I would say about guides, particularly in Italy, is they are extremely well trained. They have to go through a very stringent training program to get credentialed to be a guide. So these people really know their stuff, and they're not making stuff up like some guides in my hometown that I live in right now. We had an experience where we went to the beaches of Normandy. And we could have just gone and looked around, but all we would have seen were, sort of beaches and beach grass and some old abandoned fortifications. But we had a fantastic guide who really made everything come to life. And that's what guides do. They bring everything to life for you.
Before we talk a little bit more about guides, we got a question from Lynn about staying in a hotel in Trastevere in December. And what's the neighborhood like? Well, we stayed there for about a week in Trastevere in January 2024, and it was really a good place to stay. It's a nice, lively neighborhood with restaurants. You've got to walk across the river to see most of the sites, but I'd certainly recommend it as a place to stay because it's outside of the really crowded areas, but it's not that far. I mean, most of the sites in Rome are pretty close together. And you want to, you're going to want to walk between them anyway. So,
right. Okay. let's see what we can. Hey, Whitcombs, glad you're here.
Kathleen's got a question about some rain and a gondola ride.
Ooh.
I would bet so. I think that the gondola rides are so important to the
Local economy
that they'll be going unless you're in a torrential rainstorm or there are problems with flooding. I mean, Venice does flood sometimes, generally in more January or so, because it's just barely above the level of the sea. At times, it's not even that. But I would bet you'd be able to get one.
Putting my glasses on to see the chat better.
Yeah, let's see here. What else do we have?
Let's see. Well, we have a visitor from St. Petersburg. Hi, Bola Bola 66. Hi.
Sensitive to fragrance.
What's
the situation in Bari Puglia region? Public place like bathrooms and supermarkets plug in air fresheners.
Oh.
I never thought of it. I don't think so.
I don't think that's a big thing.
No. We spent 17 days in Puglia last year and had a great time. Sort of based in Lecce originally, and then based in 2 or 3 other cities that I'm trying to think of right now as we talk about Polignano di Mare and Vieste, and someplace around Alberobello. But
yeah, we did stay in. We stayed in Alberobello.
We stayed there one night
in one of those
Trullo. So yeah, it's a good place. I don't think my recollection is that sort of air freshener device is not common in Italy, but it may be because I'm not sensitive to it that I haven't really noticed it. So I'm not really the best source about that.
Ideas for a romantic dinner in Rome, Florence, or Venice. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Let's think about, well, we were just in Florence. Which of those places?
L'Angolo di Mare is the one that I would recommend. It's a seafood restaurant. It's out from the tourist area. So when we were in there, we were the only tourists. There will literally
be no tourists. And
it
is fabulous.
It's a fabulous restaurant. Pricey, but not outrageously pricey. So I would look at that. Angolo del Mare.
L'Angolo del Mare.
Right. Corner of the sea.
It's in Campo di Marte.
Yes.
Probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, even me.
Yeah. So that's an idea for Florence. I think that would be a good place to go.
Best time to visit Puglia. I would say in the springtime. We were there in May, right? And
we were there in May.
It was fabulous.
It was great. It was really good. It was, certainly not super hot, a little chilly in the mornings. I remember when we were in Lecce, probably in the, for those of us that use Fahrenheit, down in the upper 50s. But it got warm during the day. I mean, people were going to the beach a little bit, though.
We did boat rides and it was very warm.
Yes, we did, to some interesting places. Where the cliff diving was and some other things.
Casey asks about how long you're allowed to stay in Italy, given that we're American citizens and we don't have residency here, at least not yet.
Yeah. You want to answer that?
Well, you're allowed to stay 90 out of every 180 days, and then you have to leave for 90. So if you're here for 90 days, you have to leave for 90 days. You can't do one of those tricky things where you pop off to the UK for a day and come back, and it doesn't reset the clock. So that pertains to the entire Schengen zone, which is basically the same as the EU with a couple of small exceptions. Like Switzerland is in the Schengen zone, even though it's not in the EU, but this whole rule applies to them as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's tricky because this 180-day period is a rolling period. So they're always looking back 180 days from wherever you are. And you don't have to use your 90 days all in a chunk. You can use 45 there and then 15 and then 30, but those are going to be, if those are within a 180-day period, you're done.
Right. Now,
as the time goes beyond that first trip of 45 rolls out of the 6 months, and then you can come back again. So you wouldn't have to wait 90 days then, but you have to wait enough so that the days you were there before aren't in the last 180. Complicated. They make it difficult.
Do you have sneaker recommendations? Sneaker recommendations. Well, you do want to get good ones for walking. Vionic makes good ones. people really love hookahs for walking around a lot because they're so cushioned. I use Brooks, and a lot of people really like Skechers.
Mhm.
So let's see here.
I see a question from Jerry Perez about an out-of-the-way gem of a town that most people
Jerry
don't know
Perez.
about, but is a great place to visit. For cities, a city that I don't hear people talk about and that I really liked was Torino. It was the original capital of Italy when Italy was unified in 1861, because they selected as the king the Savoy family that was the king of Piedmont. And then the capital was eventually moved to Rome about 10 years later. But so it's got this wonderful sort of French-oriented architecture, these wide boulevards, and it's not touristy at all. I think other than the Olympics having been there 20 some years ago, it's not a place that people go. So I'd think about that as if you wanted a city.
It's got a great contemporary art museum, and this is going to sound funny, but the Lavazza coffee factory is fascinating.
It is. And just like any factory tour, at the end, you get to taste the different varieties of coffee, which for the Italians is very important, the different tastes. Trying to think of a smaller town that we might be able to, I guess it depends on how.
I like Arezzo in Tuscany, or of course I love Siena and Lucca.
Those are great places in Tuscany.
Skip Pisa. It's not really worth seeing unless you just want a picture of the tower. Restaurant suggestion in Venice. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but we also stayed in the Jewish Quarter, and it's a really nice place to stay because it's away from all the hustle and bustle. But off the top of my head, I can't think of a restaurant.
Yeah, I can't either. Let's see here. Let's see what other questions, since we're not being
Small
helpful.
towns recorded to visit in January. Well, in January, I mean, if you like snow, I would go to Bolzano up in the Dolomites. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Might be crowded though, because it's a ski area, and this year the Olympics are in the northern Italy. They're not in Bolzano, but in February.
That's a good point.
Let's see here. Yeah, Italy has a very moderate climate compared to certainly the range in the United States. Chicago is about on the same latitude as where we are here in Marche, and here it rarely gets much below freezing. It does a little bit. It snows some, most years not, and occasionally they'll have a big snowstorm. So even in northern Italy, you're not facing certainly the Chicago, Minneapolis sort of wintertime temperatures.
Except
way up north,
in the mountains.
Yeah, but in the things you'd think of as cities in the north, Milan and Verona and Venice and things, they're not going to be outrageously cold by any means.
We have not been to Brisighella. Is it near Bologna? I don't know anything about that, but I have to check it out.
Let's see here.
How was the moving? Hi, Carmen. Well, we didn't actually move full time here. We're just here like half the time.
We keep getting on the edge of doing it to become residents. There's one really tricky thing, is that within a year, you have to get your Italian driver's license. It's not a reciprocal agreement with the United States. And the problem with that is, first of all, you have to go to driving school. Somebody else in the car with you telling you what to do.
Doesn't
despite
matter
the
if
fact
you know how to drive.
You've had your driver's license for 50 plus years. Excuse me. And then you have to take this written test, which is only given in Italian.
And is impossible.
And is
even for Italians.
Right. A really smart guy we know, he's an American who moved here. He said by far it was the hardest exam he'd ever taken.
In his life.
The SAT, the LSAT, none of that stuff. Compared to this, the problem is that the questions, they try to trick you with the questions. So even if you are fluent in Italian, you don't quite know what they're asking.
You have to memorize.
You have to memorize the answers because you can get the past tests online. So that's really held us back from from doing that, plus the bureaucratic process of getting the visa and all that in the U.S. So
The weather in Lecce in October should be beautiful.
yeah,
Absolutely gorgeous.
I would.
And Lecce is a great town.
Mm-hmm.
It's big enough, but not too big, and it's a real town. So while there are tourists there, you don't have the feeling you're in sort of a tourist zone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Let's see here. Question. Please understand that not everyone in Italy speaks English. That's certainly true. And the laws that exist in Italy may apply. Italy apply to everyone. That sounds like there's some concern that there are tourists, maybe Americans, who are coming over here and doing things like jumping in the fountains. The comment about not everyone speaks English. When we first came 30 some years ago, that was very true, almost everywhere, other than really in Rome and Florence and places like that. Now, because of younger people learning English in school, you'll find a lot more English spoken around the country. But there's certainly places like around here where we live that the people that help us with our pool or with the landscape, they don't speak English.
Oh.
So we need to be able to speak at least a somewhat decent Italian with them. But actually, my Italian has sort of gotten very rusty because most places we go, they want to speak English to me.
They want to practice.
They want to practice their English.
So we had a question about the EU driver's licenses from other cities, I think, or from other countries. I think they have reciprocal arrangements with most EU countries. So you just turn in your German license and get an Italian one, I think is how that works.
Right.
Or whatever.
The euro is real money, not monopoly money for you.
That's true.
Okay. Hoka sneakers. I have a pair of those that I really like. So I can certainly recommend those. They're really good for walking.
Dad was stationed. Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see here. How dependent will one be on cash rather than credit cards? Not very. Almost every place takes credit cards. They'll even take them for small transactions. It's great to have some cash. In fact, we sort of say €100 or something. 100 to 200, but you don't need any more than that. And that's because if you go into a bar to buy something, you don't really want to, for $1.50, or €1.50, you don't want to be giving them a credit card. So you'd like to have some bills.
And for bottles of water, bathrooms,
right?
You got to pay to use the bathroom sometimes, or
coins are very helpful.
And there's an occasional restaurant that, like, we went to a restaurant in Florence. It's not a little place. It's a well-known restaurant, and they don't accept credit cards. They just take cash.
Right.
So,
but most places aren't that way, and they're very upfront about it. When I made the reservation, they told me it was solo contanti.
Okay. Yes, we've been to Matera, and we did it in conjunction with a trip to Puglia, and we highly recommend it. It's fascinating and really cool. So definitely do that. And it's very close. I mean, it's right on the border of Basilicata and Puglia.
Let's see here. What time of day flight do you recommend direct to Fiumicino? That's an interesting one. I think the best ones, there's a trade-off. If you go later from the U.S., at least if this question is about the U.S., if you can get a flight like at 10 and can resist trying to eat what the airline food and whatever else and watching things.
Just go to sleep.
Just go to sleep, because it's sort of you're ready to go to sleep, and then in the morning maybe you've gotten 3 or 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Put your eye mask on so they don't wake you up for breakfast.
Now the disadvantage of that is you're going to arrive at noon or 1 o'clock
kind of waste
the next day. So you could say, well, by the time you get in your hotel, it's pretty late in the day. But if you take that 5 o'clock in the afternoon flight, you've got the opposite thing. It's like, I can't go to sleep now, but I want to, because I'm going to end up in Italy at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is really 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time in the U.S.
Can we get currency at the 8?
Yeah.
Avoid the currency conversion rate at the ATM.
Yeah, you always want to try to find a bankomat, which is what we call bankomat. Yeah, it's a bank ATM, what we call it. It's really part of a bank branch. The other ones that you'll see have unbelievable both fees and the exchange rate they give
It's
you
terrible.
is terrible. It's like, I know when last time I had looked at it for a video, the market rate was, I think, $1.08. Wish it were that right now for euros. A euro cost $1.08. They were giving it at $1.18 at the currency exchanges, either the booths or at
Or
the
those Eurostar, they're these freestanding, they're usually blue and yellow, and they say ATM.
and they're everywhere.
And they're everywhere, and they rape you on the
Right.
exchange rate and the fees.
Right.
Okay, Naples. What's Naples like? Naples is wonderful. It's a very polarizing city. We find that people either love it or hate it. So some people don't like it because it's kind of dirty and gritty, and it's very crowded because it's the most densely populated city in Italy. But it's wonderful. The food is wonderful. The people are wonderful. And there's a lot of really, really cool and interesting things to see. So we recommend Naples.
Yes, it's.
But if you're bothered by graffiti and a little grit and, a lot of hustle and bustle, then maybe it's not for you.
There's a question about Italian chips, candy. Perugino, isn't that what from
Yeah,
Perugia? The
yeah.
candy, that's very popular. There's happens to be a brand of potato chips
Oh, they're the best.
from a company called San Marco, and they're 1936.
It's the brand name.
And they're like kettle cooked, but somehow much better than anything we've gotten in the U.S.
They're really
And
good.
I always buy one when we stop along the Autostrada at the service areas
The
where they
auto
have
grill.
restaurants and places to get something to eat.
He's a bad influence on me. He buys them and I eat them. Social Security still taxing? I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be taxed in Italy, you'd be taxed on all your worldwide income. And the rate's higher than normally it is in the US, but you get a credit on your US taxes. But you're definitely taking a tax hit to some degree, I think, coming here. But of course, it depends on everybody's situation and whatever the accountant would tell
Marco
you.
are the best.
So,
Yeah.
see, Charles, get a Charles Schwab debit card is yes,
or a Fidelity.
or Fidelity.
One of those.
They give you that €5, which is usually the fee
They
from the bank
reimburse
here.
you
They
back.
reimburse you for that.
Yes, Naples is a great springboard for Sorrento and Pompei and Paestum and all that.
Right.
Pompei is wonderful. Yeah.
It's the question about the meal portions look large. I don't think they're as large as you might expect, but your real question is it okay if we share, my husband and I? Yes. In fact, last night, Ann and I shared, we each had a pasta. Is that right? And then we shared roast rabbit, which was really good. So it was nice. Yeah, it's certainly fine. I mean, sometimes we've even shared the pasta and then
shared the main.
Right.
And
we generally will then get a side dish, a vegetable of some sort.
Or a salad or something.
Yeah, just because we sort of need a little bit more food than that. But the notion of eating a pasta and then a secondo, a meat, at every meal is just not done.
Gain.
Yeah. I mean, if you're hungry, you can do it, or it's really for big occasions. Italian families like to go out to lunch with each other on Sundays. And then sometimes they will do that big, more elaborate meal. So.
Hello from your biggest Kentucky fans. Oh, that's so nice. Cooking classes. Oh, what is the cooking? We took a great cooking class a couple of years ago. Maybe
it's called
Mama
Florence.
Mama Florence. And I think it's mamaflorence.com.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. It was good. And we made pasta and we made, I think, a sauce and maybe something else.
Sales tax here work for tourists. It's interesting. They don't have a sales tax. They use, as I think most of the world other than the US uses, something called a value added tax, VAT. And that's already built into the price you see. So you're going to be paying that just like anyone else. Now, having said that, on large ticket items, jewelry or
leather,
things like that, there is a program where you as a non-Italian can get the VAT refunded to you, because and you get a 12% refund, though the store you buy it from has to do the paperwork.
Yeah, they have to give you this certain form
Right.
that you bring to this little kiosk at the airport where you get them, and then they credit your account.
Yes.
I think is the way that.
Yeah, and then you go, they give you that, you go to the airport and get it back. But for the stores, it needs to be worth their while to go through this paperwork. And it does if you're buying a leather jacket or some piece of jewelry, but it doesn't if you're buying, something that costs
some
30,
little thing, then they
30
wouldn't
euro.
bother
Right.
to do that.
Yeah, so you're mostly just paying the same prices as anybody else would as far as that is. But it's not an added cost. It's built into the price. And that's so in a restaurant, when you see 30 euro on the menu, you pay 30 euro. There's no tax on top of that. And tipping in Italy is very modest. So you're not seeing this thing that really shocks many foreigners when they come to the US, that $30, turns into 36 after sales tax, and then turns into what, like 50 after the tip, or 40, 45. Here 30 is 30. So that's good to know. And it makes things seem to be more affordable, given that the exchange rate right now is not very good. It's about 118. So
affordable souvenirs in Rome. So I don't know. They don't have anything like dollar stores. There are a lot of like kiosks and little stores that sell things like refrigerator magnets and, just other kind of little souvenirs that you can buy for people.
mm-hmm.
There's also, there's a Christmas store where you can buy ornaments that are made in Italy, if that rings your bell. What else? Of course, there's probably a leather market somewhere. In Florence, there's a big leather market, and it's not high quality leather. In fact, it's not that great quality. But, if you're looking for a 20 or 30 euro thing, or a 10, 20 euro thing, they're nice, for that.
Question. We got a question here about Florence and the famous steak, the Fiorentina. Can you recommend an authentic Florence steak restaurant? And actually, we have a video coming out about some restaurants of that, not just of steak, but of sort of a nicer quality than the budget one we did a few weeks ago. And there's a place called
Perseus that we ate at. It's just north. It's sort of north of the Accademia, north of where the Duomo and everything is. But when the weather's nice, you can eat outside, which is lovely. But they have wonderful beef bistecca alla Fiorentina, and all of these places charge by the kilogram. So you get this big honking steak, and it'll cost you, but
it's for multiple people.
It's worth it.
And you want to pay, not like you're wanting to pay more, but you want to pay sort of at least 60 euro
per kilo.
A kilo if you really want to get something. That's where the prices start.
The real.
Yeah, and they go up from there if you get some very special kind of beef. But you don't want to try. It's not something that you're going to want to try to scrimp on. If you're going to do it, you need to do it.
And also, if you like your meat medium to well done, I would skip it, because they don't cook it that way. I mean, it's fairly warm inside.
Right.
It's really good, but it's rare.
That's
right.
That's
just the way they cook it. If they cooked it enough to make it brown inside, it would be totally burnt on the outside, because it's so thick.
Yes. But it's wonderful. We really enjoyed ours that we had a couple of weeks ago. Let's see here. How's the rental car pickup from Santa Maria Novella? Never tried it. We've never actually flown into Florence.
But we've rented cars at the Florence
airport. We have rented cars at the Florence airport.
I would go out to the airport.
Yeah, I would do it at the airport.
It's a lot easier to navigate out of the city.
Yes.
Than if you get it at the train station.
Yeah, and you can take the tram from right in front of the train station out to the airport in 20 minutes or something like that. And it's much easier to get. I forgot we had done that. Much easier to get it there, and probably more importantly, you aren't in the middle of the city, because you're then you're in a traffic limited zone where you're not going to get the fine there since you picked up the car there. But the streets are narrow, confusing, and
crowded, and
it wouldn't be a fun way to
stressful.
start. Yes.
Heading to Rome, Castel Gandolfo. we've driven through there. We did eat it. We did have a lunch in Frascati. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's nice up there. And
Yes.
definitely try the Frascati wine. But Castel Gandolfo's, it's cool.
Let's see here. The question about the post office, can you exchange money there like you can in France? I don't know. One thing you can do, we believe,
They have cash machines.
they have cash machines.
Italian Post cash machines, and they give you a good
And they
rate.
give you a good rate.
They give you a good rate. But as for going up to the counter, I mean, people do go pay their utility bills, but you'd be standing in line. It just, you don't want to do that.
Probably. Well, if you didn't, yeah, it'd be much easier to just get it, not bring dollars with you and just get it out of Bancomat or one of the post office ATM machines. So
not to day trips from Naples, not to miss. Oh,
day trips from there. One place not to miss. We'd be there for 10 days. Wow.
so places in Florence or places outside of
Sounds
Florence?
like outside of Florence is the question. Do day trips?
You know, if you
Oh, well, it could be both.
if you're into wine at all, you know, there's
Mhm.
lots of like, you can take a Vespa tour of Tuscany, or you can get hire a driver to take you to
Mhm.
some wineries. And some of the tour groups like Get Your Guide or Viator, you know, you can get on there and sign up for a trip or a tour they'll take you out in the country. You can see the wineries, or you can go visit olive groves and how they make olive oil. I think that's kind of interesting. And as for towns in Tuscany, Montepulciano is really cool. Arezzo, Lucca, Siena.
Yeah, although that
almost
area
can't go wrong.
Yeah, that area is full of a lot of
Montalcino.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where else. Those are sort of the big places I'd go as day trips. You know, you can easily do a day trip to Bologna if you wanted to. It's like 55 minutes on the train, and that's a great town, real foodie town. So that would be a possibility too if you wanted to actually go to another city that's significant in Italy, as it's considered, at least by the residents, the culinary capital of Italy, and is home to the oldest university in the Western world. So
Montepulciano in the winter. I actually went to an Italian school for a week in Montepulciano in January, and it's really lovely because Montepulciano is very touristy and very busy in summertime, and it's a pretty small town, but in the winter it's very quiet. Now the downside is some things are closed, or they close early or whatever, but it's very quiet and it's very nice. I liked it.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's see here.
More September, October, more expensive.
You know, the question is about, are September and October more expensive than the summer? They're certainly not any less expensive. And given, I think, my recent experience in booking some things within Italy in the summer and in the fall, they may be more expensive in the fall.
Yeah. The shoulder months that used to, you know, the fall and the spring, that used to be the time to go and avoid the crowds, are now when the crowds are there.
Right.
Because it's so hot in the summertime, and you know, it's just, the last few years has been kind of brutal. So people, it's more like Florence was busier in September than in July this year and last year.
Right. So there's demand, you know, obviously supply and demand. And
it's amazing how for example, the hotel prices just swing wildly. I mean, depending on, you know, I mean, they can go up, they can double or triple during high season. It's crazy.
So there's definitely an advantage to, I think we had a question before about, you know, booking it as far in advance as you really can do, because I think that's the best way to get a good rate on it. If the sort of last minute ones can be pretty expensive. Let's see here.
Good supermarket close to the Colosseum.
I don't know a particular one. I mean, all over in Rome, there are Carrefour,
and also Conad. And they have these city conads, which are like smaller versions, and you'll see them in just all sorts of neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure specifically around the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
But if you Googled it, you put in Carrefour, which is a French company, Carrefour, or Conad, Conad, and just say
Yeah.
Conad near
I'm
Colosseum.
pretty sure I remember those there.
And
I know
they'll
Florence
tell
has
you.
it there. So let's see here.
Look at the room for them. How much time should I allow to catch my flight
home.
home?
Okay. I don't know whether you're thinking of going from Rome out to the airport and counting that time, but I think it's like any international airport. I think it's a good idea to get there 2.5, 3 hours in advance.
Yeah.
We tend to get there a little early because the extra half an hour spent in the city isn't really worthwhile. And depending on how long the baggage line might be, if you're checking a bag, you don't want to feel like you're rushed and trying to get out to your flight. It's not a tremendously long distance from where you go through security until you get to your flights. Most of the international flights depart from this other little sort of satellite terminal, and you take a train, but the train ride is less than a minute. I think it's just a little tram that just goes back and forth between the two. So, yeah, I 3 hours is sort of what I shoot for when we're doing it. Let's see.
Venice, I can't think off the top of my head of specific restaurants. I'm gonna need to look into that. We're gonna go to Venice in February, but right now, and we've been there, but I don't have anything top of mind.
Yeah. Varietals that we love that are not commonly available in the United States. Yes, there are certainly some from this region that these are available, but they're not widely available. Verdicchio is the famous wine from Marche. It's a white, and it's in better wine stores. They'd certainly have it, but it's not widely distributed, and I'd certainly recommend that. There's
Trebbiano.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly ones like from Umbria, the Sagrantino.
Well, you wouldn't find that.
You wouldn't find that in the U.S.
That's from a tiny part of Umbria.
Right.
In Veneto, we
should have our friend Brian on here who knows all about Italian wines. Another one I think of, and this is more common than Verdicchio, is Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. It's the Montepulciano grape. It's made in Abruzzo. It's different than the wine Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. But the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, is really wonderful. I like it. That's a red.
Okay. Do you think they will decorate Rome for Christmas in the end of November, or does it start in November? They probably will decorate Rome starting at the end of November, but I think Christmas markets might not start until the 1st of December. Lampredotto, does it taste like ground pork or is it like tripe? Well, it is tripe. But
it doesn't really taste.
It doesn't really.
I don't know.
I think if you have that on a sandwich, it tastes really good. And you don't, I mean, if you didn't know what you were eating, you wouldn't.
No. I don't like the texture of it. It just,
But they put a lot of like spices and herbs and things on it that make it yummy. Anyway.
There was a question about doing the underground or the attic tour at the Colosseum. We did the underground tour.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that as being.
People seem to like it. I thought it was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. It's just some like CGI.
Part of it is, yeah.
Stuff of gladiators, I don't know.
We also did that tour with a guide, which if you really are interested in the Colosseum or you want to do more than just sort of check it off your list, do a guide. We were fortunate enough, we were there in January, that we booked a group tour and it was just the two of us. And so we got a guide who agreed to speak Italian to us and gave us a tour, and he knew a lot about it. And I was supposed to be like a 2-hour tour.
It went for 4 hours.
Yeah, it went for 4 hours until I was just exhausted from walking up and down. He said, "Oh, well, do you want to go see the Forum next?" And I'm like, no, I got to go have lunch because we're supposed to be someplace else.
It's
It's
supposed to be
3
the
o'clock.
Borghese Gallery.
Right.
For,
So, but yeah, so it's, I don't like to say, hey, you really got to do the underground. And I don't know about the attic.
my husband has several I've been hearing so many different things. I take. Oh, talk about this, Ed. Because Ed has more prescription drugs than anyone
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
So
I
he can
unfortunately
speak to that issue.
Yeah. There's no problem really with prescriptions other than a small list of things that are considered, narcotics. I mean, I think they're things like, well,
Ritalin,
Ritalin is considered that,
Adderall,
Adderall, something like
Xanax.
Xanax or something. That's not
They're considered controlled.
they're controlled substances. That's the word I'm looking
So
for.
you need to have.
Yeah, for those, if to be safe, you really would want a doctor's note that says you got it. For the others, if you had a copy of your prescription, that'd be fine, or you bring them in the bottles. I honestly just bring them in a big case, and I do have, I think, the receipts from the pharmacy in case I'd be asked. But that's a question I've never been asked about whether I'm bringing in medication or not. I think the law says you can do it for 30 days, and they don't have to be in the original containers. They can be out of that as long as you'd have some documentation. So it's a matter of how careful you want to be. So
Taxi at 3:30 a.m.
Let's see here.
Flying out of Florence. Oh,
Florence or Naples? How about this one?
Oh,
Naples. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We've got a
Let's
couple
do
flying
a couple
out
of flying out of. One's about staying in Sorrento, 6 a.m. flight in Naples. What transportation would you should guess to get to the Naples airport? If it were me, I would stay near the Florence airport or the Naples airport. I'd go in there the night before. It's hour and some from Sorrento to the Naples airport.
You have to be there 2 hours.
If you're there 2 hours in advance, you're now talking about leaving at 2:30 in the morning. You need to know that you've got somebody reliable to show up and pick you up.
If you're staying in a hotel, you can ask them to book you a car, but you need to really make sure that they say that this is somebody they really rely on, because if that guy doesn't show up at 2:30 in the morning, you're really in a pickle.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that it's somebody really reliable. Now, the other thing you could do is if you go online to Get Your Guide, which is one of the tour companies, they also have things where you can get a driver, and presumably they're to be on Get Your Guide, they're reliable. And, it'll probably cost a little more. It's like €40 a person, but it's probably more reliable than just hoping a cab is actually going to show up. We've had that happen where the cab didn't show up. And when the hotel guy called the cab driver, he's like, oh, well, sorry.
Yeah, I think that happened to us when we had a flight in the morning.
Now, luckily it was, 8 o'clock in the morning, so we could get another cab, but at 2:30 in the morning, that would be tough.
Might be harder.
So what was the other one about Florence?
Sort of the same thing at Florence. If you're at a hotel, I'm pretty sure they could get somebody for you that's reliable. At least that one's a shorter trip. You're only a half an hour, 20 minutes.
There are a lot of private limo companies online, and like I said, you can also go to Get Your Guide, and they have some there too.
Let's see here.
What is the Borghese Gallery like? But wow. I'm a fan because I love Bernini, and some of his most wonderful sculptures are there, and they shouldn't be missed. But I don't know whether everybody feels that way about Bernini.
Yeah, I'm not a big art guy, but Bernini's sculptures are I think fantastic.
They're amazing.
Right.
So
it's a good place to visit, I think. So it's a bit out of the center of town. I remember we took a taxi out there and probably back. Oh no, we have walked there too.
We both walked and
done both.
What is a controlled substance? He has the bottle in the script.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The best restaurant in Florence will be there tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. We mentioned a couple that are really good.
What kind of food do you like?
Angolo di Mare, which is a seafood restaurant. Perseus, which is a steak restaurant. Either of those would be great.
There's
choices.
a very popular restaurant that you definitely require. It's called La Giostra, Giostra, which means merry-go-round in Italian. And they're very well known, and people go there, and they have incredible bistecca alla Fiorentina, if that's what you're into. What else? Well, if you want to go to a really down-home trattoria that's been there for a bajillion years, it's called La Sostanza, Sostanza, and they have this thing that's their specialty called butter chicken. Not like at the Indian restaurant, but I don't even know what they do to it, but they bring it over to your table sizzling, and it is divine.
It is. We went in there and had heard they had two things that were good: the butter chicken and some sort of a
tortino, like a egg and artichoke.
And Anne got the
thing.
I drew the short straw and had to get the tortina. She did give me a bite of her butter chicken, but there was no comparison between the two dishes. So, Alan, my worry is getting on the wrong train. It's pretty hard to get on the wrong train. I mean, if you just look at the signs that are up overhead on the platform at all stations, little ones, big ones, there'll be signs that say where the train is going. I guess the only tricky part is
you need to know what the end of the train.
You need to know what the
last
end
stop
point is. Yes.
So if you're going to Florence from Rome, that train might be going to
Milan
or Turin.
Right. So yeah, that's the only tricky part.
So just get the train number.
Yeah. And make sure you get the train number, because especially with the high-speed trains, the Italo and Trenitalia have high-speed trains leaving very, very close together on the schedule. And the only difference really is the number and the name of the company. But if you're confused, you can end up on the wrong train without a ticket, which happens. We've heard about it happening to people.
I'm trying to get a team tourist plan. Better to get at the office or at the airport.
We've always gotten it in the when we first got it. And we got it in the city, and when we've had to deal with some problems, we had to on this trip with some things. Anne's didn't work for some reason. We've always gone into the city just thinking that there's not the crush of people there, and you probably can get a little bit more attention.
Yeah, because it
takes a long time.
It takes an amazing amount of time, like at least 15 minutes, and you got to have your passport and I don't know why it's sort of like renting a car when they put all that stuff in there while you're standing there and you're like, but I reserved it. But they still do all that stuff.
They still do. Michael wants to know, is I Latini still in Florence?
I Latini.
I haven't heard of it, so I don't know.
Is
Michael?
That one of your favorite restaurants? Let's see. Is it easy? It is easy to send things to Florence by mail from there. Yes, you can do that. I have a friend who, when she travels to Italy or anywhere else, she mails her dirty laundry home. So I think it's pretty easy to do. You just need to get a box and go to the post office.
Right. One on the question about getting the tourist plan on team. Let's see here. Somebody mentioned that you can get a eSIM online, and that's true. The only disadvantage of an eSIM is you can't make calls.
So
it's
that doesn't matter to you,
right? If that doesn't matter to you, it's data only. I think there might be somebody that has a
like
call
Airolo,
plan.
Airolo. Airolo has a good plan,
right? And there's some others. Holofly, we've heard good things about. I know Airolo is somebody we recommend. Holofly. We recommend that, I think, on our site.
Michael says yes, I Latini is a restaurant. Well, we'll have to go there next time. I can't believe we haven't gone there.
Is it cold in Florence in March? Let's see here. We've been there in March. We were there in January, and it wasn't too cold.
I would say it's moderate. I mean, you want, have a little puffer jacket, and you'll be fine.
Right. For Anne, of course, she's always cold, so she's always wanting a puffer jacket, even though it's.
And if you wear a scarf, you'll be right in style with all the Italians. They're very into scarves, even the men, because they think that if you get any draft on your neck, you'll get sick. Shorts okay for men in the Vatican? I'm sure you wore shorts.
No, because we were
Oh,
there
you
in
didn't?
January the
Oh.
last time.
Okay.
I don't. That's a great question.
Um,
I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, it depends whether you're talking the Vatican or St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think you're probably fine unless I think they really frown on short shorts, which is probably wondering about. And they don't like tank tops or, bare midriffs or, Daisy Dukes or any of that kind of thing. They want you to be covered and sort of, respectful.
Yes. Tracy's added here that Orange, the phone company Orange, does have a eSIM with voice, so that would be something
Good. That's a good idea.
worth looking
Good
at.
option.
And Airlo, you would the way that these eSIMs work is you buy them online and they give you a QR code or some other code that you scan, and it then installs the eSIM on your phone, and then you turn it on when you arrive, and so it's all set up for you that way, and it includes some amount of data, depending on how much you think you're going to need over whatever period of time, and you buy that up front.
Non-alcohol. So they have Coca-Cola and they have Fanta, right? Over there.
And there's flavored San Pellegrino.
And there's flavored San Pellegrino and just bottled water and bottled fizzy water,
Mhm.
which is what we like,
Mhm.
sparkling water. And then for aperitivi, for cocktails, they have some really wonderful non-alcoholic cocktail drinks,
Mm-hmm.
which you could always ask about in a bar if you want to try those.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I think we've covered almost everything.
Oh, read out the question before answering. Sorry. It was going so fast, we couldn't keep up with it,
I
but
know.
our apologies.
Yeah, certainly. We're sorry about that.
No Daisy Dukes for my hubs, LOL.
So let's see here. Well,
let's see what else. Anything else at Sim Online?
Have you ever been pulled over at a local traffic? Yes.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. In fact, in a little town right here. What they checked for was my driver's license and the registration on the car.
And
the
international driver's permit.
Right.
Which is the thing you get at the AAA for $20. And it's required. And you'll find that if you go to rent a car in Italy, they may not ask you for it. But if you get stopped by the cops, they definitely will ask you for it. And really all it is a translation of your license.
Right.
Into Italian.
Right.
But it is required. And like I said, it's easy. It takes 10 minutes at the AAA and costs $20.
Yeah. And these are random stops. You're driving along and there's a policeman holding it's a little stick with a little circle on top and they ask you these questions, but it's not something that's happened to us a lot. Is it necessary to carry your ID? That's a really tricky one. The answer really is yes.
Technically, yes. Legally, yes.
In fact, you need to have it with you, an identification with you at all times in Italy. And that applies to a citizen, a resident, and a foreigner. They don't come up to you and ask you for your passport, or as far as I know, that's never happened to me, or have I ever heard of that. There are some places that it says on the ticket that you need to have your passport to get in, because it's sold to you and they don't want you reselling it.
Tourist attractions. If you've bought the ticket ahead of time, they want to prove that it's you.
Did they do that when you went up the Dome in Florence?
I don't know where they didn't do it there, but they have done it somewhere else. We were recently.
Somewhere else, yeah. So
Jerry wants to know if we can expect a movie destination tour video of famous Italy shooting locations, for example, The Godfather or Romeo and Juliet.
Now that's a good idea.
We were in Matera where they shot which James Bond, the one about where he dies, that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They shot a lot of that, or not a lot, but some scenes there.
Carolyn says she had to have a passport at the Colosseum. So
there you go.
So it's a good thing to carry with you. Obviously, the risk is you don't want it stolen. So you want to keep it in a place that's safe. And we talked about that probably, I know, more than once, a video about pickpockets and other shit, that you want that controlled in something in front of you, zipped up, And if you don't make yourself a target, you're unlikely to lose your valuables, including your passport. Would a paper copy work? I think not, if they're going to be strict about it. They want the original.
But what they might do, I mean, if they really were going to be sticklers and you had a paper copy of your passport, they might accompany you to your hotel to get the real passport.
Yes.
They aren't, it's very unlikely that they would fine you or take you to jail, but they might make you go show them the real thing.
Right, right. So Jimmy says, oh, that's when James won. I didn't think that was Jim. Jim Thompson said on Her Majesty's Secret Service was the James Bond movie, but I thought that was wrong.
That's
and
a different
he has
one.
been corrected.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yes.
A better idea, passport card. That's interesting. Can you get a passport card in the U.S.? You can for traveling to Canada. So maybe that would be something you could carry.
I didn't even know about that.
I have to look into that.
Do we live full time in Italy? No, we're just here part of the year. So the rest of the year we live in South Carolina.
Just where I can find binoculars.
Oh.
That's a great question. No Time to Die. Okay.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you,
Thank
Sylvia.
you, Sylvia.
Yes, I have one. Okay, so the passport card may be the way to go if you can go and get that. Let's see.
Copy of your work ID. I don't think a paper copy of your work ID, because they would be like, "What's that?"
What a paper copy work?
Oh,
not your work ID.
Oh, work of your ID. Oh, sorry.
Paper copy of your ID.
Oops.
So,
have we driven from Florence to Emilia-Romagna?
Mm-hmm.
Have we driven? We've driven from other places to there.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly, that's through the mountains up to get to Bologna and other things. It's other places up there in the valley.
So we have done.
Yeah, we have done it. Because of where we live, usually when we go up that way, we go up the coast over here on the east and then across into Emilia-Romagna. It's not that far from here.
Highway.
Yeah,
it goes up the coast.
That's where the main autostrada, the big highways are. We've got a comment here that an electronic copy of their passport on her phone worked at the Uffizi.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, we carry a copy of our passport on our phone.
Right.
Because you never know.
It's one of those things that in general you're not going to have a problem with it. It's going to come up though, or it can come up, and you don't want it to ruin your trip because they won't let you in the Colosseum or they won't let you in something else that you've counted on doing as a big part of your trip.
Any restaurant ideas for Rome or dishes to try? Let's think about that.
Well, the dishes, the famous pasta dish from Rome is cacio e pepe, which is really just Parmesan cheese and pepper
on spaghetti.
Is it on spaghetti?
Or
I'm not sure what the right pasta is on that. That's a good question.
I think it's spaghetti.
We're gonna, I'm sure, find out from somebody what the pasta is.
And the other one in Rome, the other pasta in Rome is
carbonara. Spaghetti carbonara.
Yeah.
Is they're proud of those two dishes.
Fried artichokes are really good, but the best restaurants will only have them when they're in season, which is I'm not sure when, but
springtime.
Not in the summer.
Not in the summer, not in the winter. Amatriciana, right, is another sauce that is popular in Rome, is connected to Rome. Let's say we've been to Viareggio on the coast. No.
Wait, didn't we go there?
Did we?
From Lucca that time?
Viareggio.
The beach? Isn't that the beach? We went to that little
cute
restaurant.
Yeah, I think we did, but we don't.
I can't remember the name of it. Be there for 5 days in October. Oh, nice.
Tonorelli for cacio e pepe. Okay.
Tonorelli. Okay. What are tonorelli? Are they like little tubes?
Well, they're long pasta.
Okay. Rome, Roscioli Salumeria. Yes.
Okay. The sea is too rough to get to Capri. In early October, it's smart to book extra nights in Sorrento now, just in case. Supposed to spend 2 nights on Capri, then head to Mauro. Interesting thought. I guess it would depend on what the cancellation policy is and how much risk you want to take. It'd be great to be able to stay on Capri because it gets a lot of day traffic and is really crowded.
It's nicest after like 5 in the afternoon,
Right.
before 10 in the morning.
Right. So I would think that early October, I don't think it's going to
you'd
be
okay.
I don't think
You'd
it
be
would be a
okay.
problem.
And you know, there's not that much to do in Sorrento other than go to the Amalfi Coast or Capri or you know,
How
Paestum or
rude would
something.
it be to order food from the wrong region, saying ordering carbonara and Modena? It's not rude. It's probably better to order. Well, better's a subjective term, but to order the regional dishes because then you get more of the experience. But
And they're probably better.
yeah, and they may not even offer those things in Modena. There may not be a probably not a cacio e pepe.
Yeah,
But
you find that when you go to restaurants, if you stay in an area for a while and you go to a few restaurants, you'll see the same things on the menu over and over again because those are the regional things that are specialties. And often you don't see the things from the other regions. Depends.
Yeah. Living money says we didn't rent a car. Now we're not getting an international permit.
You rent a car. Now you're getting it.
Don't sit and worry about it. I mean, well, if depending on where you are, it's still the day on Saturday and AAA may be open. you could go and get it maybe, but I wouldn't sweat it. I mean, other than this one time we were stopped at that traffic stop, I've never been asked for it. But of course, now that I tell you this, you're going to get stopped.
And if you do get stopped, just keep saying over and over, I don't speak Italian. And 9 times out of 10, the cop won't speak any English. And so you just keep acting like, I don't know what you're talking about. And finally they'll get frustrated and tell you to go. That's my tactic.
Let's see here. Julie Whitcomb says that, a recommendation for a restaurant in Rome, which I wish I had had about a month ago, in Campo di Fiore, Grappolo d'Oro. Because we have tried a couple of restaurants in the Campo di Fiore, and they've both been not very good. So next time we know where we'll go to eat. So, okay.
Let's see. I saw another. How are the buses? I guess that depends where. In Rome, you can take the bus. Be careful of pickpockets, though.
Right. Yeah. In the cities, you can do it though. If you're talking about the major cities, walking will
get you there.
Get you there probably faster. You don't really need to try to navigate the bus system. The Vatican's a bit of a distance out there. Yeah. So,
but then you could take the metro to that.
To the Vatican. Yeah, I'll go out there.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Should we do a day trip to Pompei from Rome, or is it not worth it if we don't have more time?
If you have a day,
if you have a whole day,
then it's worth it.
Yeah.
But the Pompei is definitely a day-long thing.
Yeah.
By the time you go there, and it's huge.
It's huge, and the train to Naples, I think, is an hour and a half, and then you've got to take the train from there, which is another. I don't remember how long that took. Less than an hour, but yes, you got some transportation back and forth, unless you've got a guide or a driver or somebody. So if you really want to see Pompei, I think that's something you can do.
Now, what about Herculeo?
Or what I was going to say is, if you really want to just see a Roman town, or the remains of it, right next to Rome, what was the port of Rome, Ostia.
Ostia Antica.
Ostia Antica is there, and you can actually take the metro from Rome out there.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, and wouldn't require you to schlep all the way to Pompei.
Yeah, less touristy and much closer. Okay. Question on train traveling from Pisa to Grosseto. How do I navigate train travel and tickets?
That's on the coast, right?
No, it's inland, but it's
Oh.
down. It's down. It's south of Pisa, I'm pretty sure.
So you would probably be taking I assume if
It'd
there's
be
a
a-
train, you'd be a regional train,
Right. Uh-huh.
not one of the high speed ones. And so you can buy your ticket.
Yeah, we have a video. It's a little old now. We need to remake one about train travel in Italy that talks all about, well, everything having to do with the trains. That would talk about the regional trains and the other ones and what you have to do with your tickets and finding the right train and all that. So if you haven't watched that, that might be a good thing for you to look at. It might be helpful. We got another restaurant recommendation. Felice
Felice's
Testaccio.
in Testaccio. Okay, I'm writing it down.
Uh-huh. Has the best cacio e pepe. Okay.
Great. We now will have places to go.
Is it too cold in Rome currently?
Oh no.
Day.
It's gorgeous. It's sunny in the daytime, or it has been, and cooling off at night. So it's not
Yeah.
like in the summer, it's just sweltering hot, but right now it's lovely.
Yeah. Nights. Tonight is going to get to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about
perfect
Celsius.
weather for Rome.
Yeah. Really, really good for that.
Day trip to Assisi from Florence. Yeah.
Day trip to Assisi from Florence.
How long would that have? 2 hours in the
Quite.
car? The problem is getting there.
Yeah, the problem is it's not that far. I don't know what the train lines where they would run. Yeah, in the car it's only about an hour and a half, I think. I'm trying to think how if we go, because we would go by there from Florence to get to here. I don't know. You'd have to. The thing to do would be to look at the Trenitalia website, see if they do have a train. They do have a station in Assisi, but like in most towns in
it's at the
Italy,
bottom of the hill.
it's the bottom of the hill.
It's a big schlep up the hill
Right.
to the town.
So many of the towns in Italy are built at the top of hills for defensive reasons a long time ago. So the train stations are at the bottom, obviously, and then you've got a big climb to get up in there. Here.
Let's see, Sorrento restaurants.
The places you store your luggage after you leave your hotel might not have enough room for the car we rented. Yes, in most towns, most cities, you can find luggage storage places. Just search for them online. They're these unmanned things where you go in and put your luggage in. You get something back. I think you pay when you come back. How long you've left it there. But you've got a code, I think, that opens the door when you go back in there.
But they're very safe. I mean, everybody uses them.
Yeah. But usually in a hotel, they will keep your bag. They want you out of your room, but they don't not necessarily make you get out of the hotel. And that is even true at some Airbnbs, depending on the host, where you can leave it if there's a secure place, behind something or in a room, in a closet. You can leave your stuff there. We've done that a number of times. So, okay.
Do we have any others here?
Do we have any other ones? Or we can thank everybody for joining. And if we didn't get to your question because we missed it, please send us an email send it to the live stream at Our Big Italian Adventure, and we'll get back to you with an answer. So thanks. I enjoyed this. I thought this was fun. What do we got? A question?
What's our favorite season to be in Italy? Fall, for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And this year we're disappointed that we aren't going to be able to stay to do our olives and get the oil. We have a big crop of olives, but I have to go back and get shoulder surgery first week of October that I've been putting off for over a year. And Anne is going on part of the Camino de Santiago with some friends in Spain. So we won't be here at the end of October to do our olives.
Darn.
So just one more. Where do you stay when we go to Italy? Most of the time we're at our house here in Marche, though, as you can tell from our comments and our videos, we spend a lot of time traveling around.
Especially Florence.
On this trip was about a 4-week trip. It was fast because we had to cram it in between 2 other things. And I think we spent about half the time here at our house and half the time traveling around. This time in Umbria and in Florence are the places that were, and then a little bit around Rome that we
Thank you,
visited.
Carolyn.
So,
all the best with your surgery.
oh, and thank
you
you
very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will
It was
try.
fun.
Yeah, we'll try to do this again sometime soon. It probably won't be till Anne gets back from her Camino, unless you want to just talk to me.
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
All right. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Have a
and
good evening.
See.
Take
Buonasera.
care. Buonasera.
Ciao.